Michael, as you're talking, I just can't help this feeling like I know I've asked you this question before. I'm going to try again. Why is it about politics? This is not an issue that should be about. I don't care if the solution. Look, I'm not on the radical left. I'm not on the right either. But let's say that the people I oppose the most are the two extremes, the radical left and the far right. I don't care if the solution to this problem, if the radical left come up with a good solution to this issue, I will happily back it. If the right do, I will happily back it. I care about solving the problem. And to me, it seems just ridiculous that we go, oh, but conservatives and, why can't we just leave this to people who actually know what they're doing? Have we lost the ability to do that entirely?
Sure feels like that. I mean, so yes, on the one hand, obviously we have. Otherwise, the situation wouldn't be so bad. We wouldn't have 100,000 deaths last year from this issue in the United States, and many deaths in Britain and Scotland too, and in Europe, not as bad. But obviously, it's something that we have. And you're right in the sense that there is a kind of marriage of left and right, in the sense that the left is correct. You need universal psychiatric care. That's something the left has been saying for a really long time. They go further and say you need universal health care. I tend to agree. You need that. The right has been saying that you have to have obligations with your rights and there should be some individual responsibility. That's obviously correct. I think you're going to even have a hard time getting many people on the left to disagree with that. So that's it. I mean, you kind of go, that's it. It's just carrots and sticks.
Right.
Each one of those has been owned by left and right, but you need both of them. I will say though, that while I think that's the right solution, I don't think it wouldn't be accurate to describe. I mean, the book is still called Why Progressives Ruin Cities, because it wasn't an equal role played by conservatives and progressives. And so I think when I go all the way to the bottom to answer your question, how did something that should be dealt with as a medical issue, as almost a technical question or a scientific question, how did it get politicized? It's really the radical left that was doing that. It wasn't conservatives, in part because conservatives had their own religion or have their own religion. Actually, I'm working on a piece called, the reason, basically explaining the reason that the radical left is doing this is because they're looking for a new God. And so my underlying argument is that the death, what Friedrich Nietzsche called the death of God, which sociologists call secularization, which is basically the increasing disbelief in traditional religion, in afterlife, heaven, or reincarnation, or an all-powerful, all-seeing God, the growing disbelief in that, and the belief that our lives have no intrinsic meaning, that we don't have a soul, that there's no real reason or purpose for us to be here. That as that alternative, that so-called atheistic or secular view has grown, it's increased anxiety. And that part of the purpose of religion and what religion does is it provides us with comfort and security. And without that, most people, including people who think that they're secular, will construct an alternative religion. And they've done that that's what wokeism is, complete with an apocalyptic view of climate change, a supernatural view of race. I always point out, why is it that if I became a woman, if I declare myself a woman tomorrow, I would be applauded by progressives, but if I came out as African-American, I would be demonized and ostracized. The only explanation for that arbitrary, identity categorization is a supernatural view, both of gender and of race, actually. So we're dealing with we're, as my friend John McWhorter points out in his new book, Woke Racism, it's like we're witnessing the emergence of a new pagan religion in the same way that the, Romans witnessed the birth of Christianity. I don't think it can survive in the sense that it's destroys civilization. If you are basically saying that we should not enforce the laws equally, which is what woke religion is saying, which is what the radical left is saying, which is what they're doing, which is why we have, 200,000 people in the streets more addicted to hard drugs. It creates too many contradictions. It creates too many problems. So I do kind of go, I've been saying for like 3 years, I'm like, it can't get any worse. And then it gets worse. I do believe, particularly because my environmental work shows it too, these trends are nonlinear. Pollution does go down. societies do respond to drug crises. Societies, institutions do change. Like we're the West, God damn it. We're liberal and we're democratic, and our institutions fix themselves. But we're definitely in the midst of an epical change, I believe, that's going on right now as we speak, around politics, around what left and right even mean, and around what are the big issues of the day and what we need to be worried about and how to solve them.